Hi guys, welcome back to the Caffeinated Classroom. If this is your first time here, my name is Marie. I'm a high school English teacher in San Diego, California, and I have been virtual for this entire school year, the whole 2020-2021 school year so far. It is the beginning of February, and one of the things that I do in my classroom, regular like brick and mortar, physical classroom, every single quarter is we do some sort of a book tasting. Choice novels are a huge part of my curriculum. Here's my stack that students are doing a tasting of today. Actually, they did earlier today for their classes. Choice novels and choice novel units are a pillar of my curriculum. And so figuring out how to create engaging and basically book tastings that kids would actually do when they're not in my classroom. And I can make that experience really dynamic. How did I make that virtual so that students actually do the work to choose a novel that they're actually going to read for my class? I have figured some things out. I have some strategies for you today, and I will even show you the example of what my students did for class today for choosing their novel for this quarter. I'm excited to show you what has been working. I also have something for you. If you stick around to the end of this video, I'm gonna tell you about a free training that I've put together to help you teacher friends out there, especially my English teacher friends, stop the cycle of teacher burnout for good. I promise I have strategies that you can use today, tomorrow, in your classroom, in your life, to love your teaching job again, love teaching English again. So let's get started. Okay, so like I said, my students today did a book tasting in our classes. I got them all started. I'm gonna tell you some of the strategies that I have put into place that actually make students do this. I'll tell you all about it. I just like to lean on my stack of books while I talk to you. And then I'm gonna actually show you what I used. So here are my tips and tricks. The very first thing is to keep it as simple as you can. I like to create one single place, whether it's a document with hyperlinks that send them to different places and they keep coming back to the one hub. I'm a big fan of using a single Google slide, and on that Google slide are all of the directions they could possibly need for whatever the activity it is that you're having them do with this book tasting or speed data book or whatever it is that you're gonna do. For students to choose a choice, you know what I mean. All of the book choices are on there, pictures are on, like everything you could possibly need are right there, one single place. Like I said, I like to use a Google slide, so that's what I'm going to be showing you. I'm gonna keep looking at my notes because you guys know how I like to go totally off the rails and forget what I was talking about. Within the stuff that's on that one single slide, I have links. I have links for however many book choices. So the unit I'm gonna show you today has 7 book choices. If you've never done a choice novel unit before, I would say scale it back. Start with 3, maybe 4 choices that students have to go between. But I've been doing this for a little while, so I have a lot of different choices. So each of those 7 choices is on this slide along with all of the directions, and they are represented by pictures of their covers. Those pictures of the covers of the books link students directly to the Amazon listing for that book. On the Amazon listing, they can find things like the book description, like reviews, both professional reviews and customer reviews of the book, and they can find a look inside. So there's a lot of really good stuff there. The other thing that I like to link on a book tasting slide is the Goodreads link, where students can read the first chapter or at least a preview of the book. And that is something that really, really helps them, and they can read other reader reviews to really start to figure out when a book is going to be a good choice. Excuse me, and that's stuff that students can do pretty effortlessly, right? It's just click the link, look at the picture, look at the back picture, and just kind of like scroll around and look at stuff. And that is something that our students are particularly good at. So when we play to their strengths by saying, click this link and scroll around, look what people are saying about this book, they're more apt to actually do the work and therefore figure out which book they actually want to read. My other tip, and this goes for like a regular in the classroom book tasting or however it is that you're gonna do the choice or virtual, have a specific task that you want students to be completing. So those directions I was talking about, they tell students, step number 1, click on the picture and look at the following things from the Amazon listing. Step number 2, click on the Goodreads link and look at the following things there. Like very specific, not time consuming tasks that they are completing with very specific things to write down or to type in a specific place, all of these things, so that it doesn't feel overwhelming, because students look at a list, like my kiddos look at a list of 7 books and they're like, you want me to do what with 7 books? No, you're just gonna do this, and you're gonna do this with each of the 7 books, and the goal here is to help you find your match and what it is that you actually think you might actually read so that you can fully engage and participate in our class. The other thing that I like to do is to link, and that will be on the slide that I show you in just a moment. I'm gesturing to my giant screen that's in front of me, is a Google form. It's really, and I do this both in person and with the virtual tasting. I use a Google form, a digital way of collecting their choices. I mean, it just makes it so much easier to be able to say, and I have 2 questions on the Google, well, I have 3 questions, I think, on the Google form. The first is, what class period are you in? The second, what is your first choice of a title? And the third is, how do you plan on getting your hands on this book, right? Of my 7 choices, 1 of them is district adopted, meaning it's considered a textbook and therefore I can require everybody to read it. The other 6 options are not district adopted, meaning that students will have to get parent permission to be able to read that as a part of our class. And I just let them know that as part of their decision-making process. If they don't think that their parents are gonna approve, don't choose that one, right? And then the other piece too is, because the other 6 choices are not district adopted, they very quite possibly might not be able to get a free copy, or there might just be some finagling to do. So the other thing I like to do is embed music in the slide, make it kind of fun for them to do the book tasting together, maybe have them in breakout rooms so they work in groups, maybe they can work solo. Okay, let's take a look at the actual slide. Alrighty, my friends, and yes, I do realize that we're in a world where I could very easily screencast this, but because I am on my lunch right now, we're gonna do this way. So this, as you can see, is the slide that students get. There we go. Everything is there. You can see the steps I was talking about for each of the titles. Look at Amazon, look at Goodreads, figure out how you're gonna get a copy of it, and then make your final decision by filling out the form, which is right over here, and it just takes them right to a form that asks them those questions I was talking about. Over here, this is when you're gonna need it. Here are some different ideas of how you can get the book, but you can see right here, this is the important stuff. I find the best and most intriguing version of the book cover that I can. These are the choices for the dystopian novels that my sophomores will have choices of reading this quarter. The first quarter, my team does all dystopias. It's really fun. And as you can see, when I click on this one, it takes me to the Amazon listing, and there they go. They can look inside the book if they want to. They can look at the description. They can scroll down, still scrolling, and look at some of the reviews, which is really helpful for them. And so when I'm assigning this, I will actually walk them through a couple of things. And the first thing that I do is I actually book talk. Actually, I go through all of the instructions with everybody. So this is what you're going to be doing, da 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 da. And then I explain what to do, and then I book talk all 7 books. So, and I say, you can start wherever you want. I don't care what order you go in. Whichever one sounded the most interesting to you during my book talk, go there first. 9 times out of 10, I have certain kids going to Red Queen or Gracier, and I have other kids going to House of the Scorpion and Unwind. It's just like such a different taste sort of thing, but there you have it. That's the book tasting slide. So there you have it. That is how I have done a pretty successful virtual book tasting with my sophomores to juniors this year anyways. These strategies can really help both in person, but especially in the virtual teaching environment. Let me know if you have any questions. Check out the description box down below for a link to that free training that I was talking about to banish teacher burnout from your life. I can't say that I'm gonna banish teaching in a pandemic burnout, but the regular English teacher burnout that we all go through, it's a cycle and it is a vicious one, and once you get stuck in it, it's really hard to get out. But I have some really tangible strategies for you to help you love your teaching job again. I promise. It's been a rough year for me too, but staying true to these strategies and these methods and these like mindset shifts really does help me love what I do and remember why I love what I do. And so I want to share that with you guys. So check it out. If you just go to thecaffeinatedclassroom.com/training, it is all there for you. And let me know if you have any questions about virtual book tastings. Other than that, I will see you next time. Bye.